great to see everybody. Thank you for taking the time to join us tonight. We're going to be getting started in just a minute. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Brandi Murphy. I'm the Director of Training and Field Development with Nutrimetrics. And as you can see, I'm joined with two of my friends tonight. I have Dr. Deedra Mason and Dr. Tamara Weinstein with me. Say hello, ladies.
Hey, everyone.
Hey,
good to see you.
Great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
And we're going to be talking to you about using retail to grow your unfranchised business. And that's one of my favorite things to talk about. I know we have some amazing retailers on with us as well. We're so excited to share with you some tips on using retail to grow your unfranchised and even expand distribution. We call that retailing to recruit, right? And so I just want to see in the chat, while you guys are interacting with us and we're waiting for a few other people to jump on, let me know in the chat, did you get started with your unfranchised as a business owner right away, or were you a customer first? Just go ahead and put in the chat, were you a customer first, or did you get started right away as a business owner? So I see some mixed messages in there. We have some that were lots that were customers first, some that started as an unfranchised owner, but lots and lots of people started as a customer first. And you never know where your customers are going to come from. You never know where your business partners are going to come from. But I can tell you from doing this for a very long time, greater than 50% of our unfranchised owners start as customers first, just by trying a product. So that's going to be one of the things that we're talking about. Anything you guys want to add before we jump into the presentation?
I'm just really excited for some of the pro tips that we're going to share tonight. Again, this is about kind of sharing knowledge, sharing our business, sharing many of the ways that we have found a creation of a community and really influencing other people. And I think that's why I'm so happy to be here tonight, Brandi.
Yeah, sharing the tips and the tricks that we've learned along the way, I think is a great way to build our retail and generate the BV that we need to grow our business and expand distribution.
Totally agree. Totally agree. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my slides. And for those of you that are have been to a Basic 5 lately, you may recognize some of these slides because they do come, not all of them, but a lot of what we're going to be sharing with you tonight comes right out of the Basic 5. And that's because as we were building this presentation, we wanted to make sure that it was something that everybody had access to so that you could take these same slides right out of the Basic 5, do a team coring, right? At what we do together as a team grows. So you can completely use this as a duplicatable presentation, but we're going to be talking about retailing tonight, and we're going to be talking about why you should retail and then sharing some of our pro tips. But before we get into the tips, let's talk a little bit about the benefits of retail. And for all of us, we all had, even though they were very minor relative to other businesses, we had startup costs when we opened our account. There's a subscription fee, there's our unfranchised management fee, there's our marketing materials fee, there's fees for certain trainings like going to international convention or world conference, there's ticket costs associated with that. So when we retail, we can use our retail profit to help cover those overhead expenses by creating customers. And of course, it creates BV. Anytime that we sell a product or order a product to give out as a sample, that generates BV that not only impacts us, but impacts our organization and then helps us identify potential business partners and build belief. And I want to share with you my personal example of that. And some of you that have seen me train before, you probably heard me tell my story of how I got started. I'm going to give you an extremely and condensed version of that today. This is basically, I started my unfranchise in 2003, almost 20 years ago, 19 years ago to be exact. And when I got started, I was not looking for a business. In fact, I didn't think I had any room in my life for a business. I was working as a middle school teacher and I was having some health challenges. And so all of my energy went to my job. And when the person that introduced me, my friend Steve, who was a fellow teacher in the school district where I taught, tried introducing me to the business using the direct approach. He said something to me along the lines of, I think you'd be great for my business. If you could give me 8 to 10 hours a week, I think you would really love it. And at that point, I was at a point in my life where I was like, I don't think I have 8 to 10 hours a week, right? So I kind of ran from him for a couple of months because I wasn't interested or looking in a business. But a couple of months later, he introduced me to a product and I loved the product. I mean, from my first experience with the product, I loved it. And by the time I had taken it 3 days, and so we're going to talk a little bit about trial size marketing. And I'm a perfect product of trial size marketing, because after 3 days of me using a product and loving it, I couldn't stop talking about it. And I was sharing my experience with the product that I use, which happened to be OPC3. I was sharing my experience with OPC3 with everybody that I knew. And within 2 weeks, my friend Steve came back to me and he said, you know what, Brandi, this business is based on each person having a small group of customers that they service. You've already sent me 12 people that have purchased product, right? And so that was a huge eye opener to me, because what was my excuse of why I didn't want to start a business? I didn't feel like I had time. And then I didn't even realize that I had done what I needed to do to grow a business, right? So some of you are going to recognize this. If you're new with this might be a new concept for you, but this is what really solidified for me after Steve came to me and said, you've sent me 12 customers. Our business is really built on each unfranchised owner working with, at a minimum, what we call base 10. And what that means is you have 10 preferred customers who are ordering about 35 BV per month, on top of your own personal use of about 150 BV per month. So if you take 10 customers times 35 BV, that gives you 350 BV coming from your customer base, plus the 150 from you adds up to about 500 BV that each unfranchised owner is generating if they're sticking with base 10-7 strong. Now, we don't want to have what we call a minimum mindset, right? I have a lot more than 10 customers now, but in the beginning, having that as a really achievable goal. Like, I was shocked to find out that I had 12 customers before I even opened my business. That helped me build belief. So the idea is, when you can do base 10 and you can help two other people, right? That's where the 7 strong comes from. It's you, your 2 people, and their 2 people. That's really what you need to do to start creating a successful unfranchise. It all starts with belief in the product, by using the product, and then sharing the products with others. The other thing that I want to share with you tonight is, I didn't have any business training before doing this. Like, you don't learn to be a salesperson or to retail product when you're in teacher education. So part of my fear of not wanting to open my account was I didn't know if I knew how to do it. And once I had that experience of just talking about the products and sharing it with others and seeing that they then wanted to try the products, that helped me feel comfortable enough that I didn't have to learn to do this all on my own, that there were enough tools already in the system, right? I didn't have to do much other than just say, I'm using this product and I love it. But I want to share with you some tips on preparing to grow your retail, right? First, you want to think about, which product line do you want to focus on first? For me, I started with OPC3 because that's the one that I had a personal connection with. It helped me feel great. And so I wanted to share that with others. But then I quickly moved into motives, which was interesting because it was fun. Like, I love this picture of the girls sitting around and sharing different colors with each other. But it's really based on, what are your interests? Pick one product line to specialize in the beginning. You can expand as you grow into other divisions and other product lines. But in order to keep it in bite-sized, manageable pieces, start small with one product line, and then learn everything that you can about that product line by attending product trainings and seminars, making sure you know what downloads are available to you. If you want to purchase the home shopping lists or use the online tools that we have, buy catalogs and order products to have on hand. That's all really, really helpful for you to make sure that you're prepared. Sometimes people will say, well, where can I learn about products in the meantime when I'm waiting to get to a product training? Well, our websites have a ton of great information. So you could go to unfranchise.com and look at the product details. You could go into the support materials area, the area we call the download section in Unfranchise, and download product flyers and infographics. And there's some educational PowerPoints there about products that you can download. We have an incredible YouTube channel where a lot of videos like this, almost every night there's webinars happening and they get archived on the YouTube channel. Some of them are very product focused. Dr. Mason did one on Tuesday, and Dr. Tamara does them on the first one. I think it's the first Wednesday. Is that correct, Dr. Tamara? That you do yours. And they all get archived in the YouTube channel. So there's a ton of use at your pace tools to learn the products, right? You can do your shopping annuity assessment. And I know Dr. Tamara is going to talk a little bit later about some product events like Wellness 101s and TLS overviews and different seminars that you can do in the home. We also have an incredible learning center in the unfranchised back office. So if you go into the unfranchised learning center and you scroll down, there's a whole section on product knowledge. There's also a whole section on retailing. So if these topics that we're going to talk about with you tonight pique your interest and you want to learn more, those are great resources for you to go back and look at. Now, I did mention the support materials area. Sometimes people will say, well, where do I go to find the handouts and the infographics? And you'll see you're going to go to home, you're going to go to resources, you're going to go to support materials, and then you'll see this search box here. And what I like to do is just type in whatever product I want to look for. I'm just going to type in the name of that product in that search bar. And when I type in the name of that product, I'm going to see what infographics there are, what product handouts there are. If there are any PowerPoints associated with that, they're all going to show up right there in the search results. You can also see some videos, and you can take those materials, whichever one works best for you. You can download them, or you can click the share link, and then you can email them to somebody or text it to them as well. Now, as a reminder, our online sales need to be done on our Market America approved websites like shop.com, shopglobal.com, isotonics.com, motivescosmetics.com, lumieredevie.com, getlayered.com, tlsslim.com, nutrimetrics.com, and custom mini websites that are available to you. Now, every unfranchised owner, with the exception of the nutrimetrics.com, which is available for health professionals, every unfranchised owner has all of these sites. So depending on what your interests are, you don't just have to send them to shop.com, even though shop.com is a great resource. You could pick a product focused site like isotonics.com, where they maybe don't get as lost by all the partner stores, right? So to help narrow them down, keep them focused on the brand that you are representing. You also can create your own product links using our affiliate publisher network system. We have a whole API program. If you go into the unfranchised back office, you can learn how to use the APN links, and might take some developer resources, but we have those available in the back office as well to learn how to promote products on your own personal blog. And then we have the ability to use, like I'm going to use the example of our shop.com site, our share pages. Now, I just want to remind you that when you want to introduce somebody to a product, you don't just want to go up to the top of the screen and grab the URL. Instead, you want to go down to the bottom of the page, and it says link to this page. And that's where you're going to get the share link that has your specific product, your specific web portal address keyed into it, so that you make sure that you get credit for the sale if your customers that you send to any of those sites. And every single one of our sites has the share link at the bottom. Just go down to the bottom of the page and grab the share link instead of grabbing it at the top, which doesn't necessarily bring them directly to your web portal. And when you have a product, you want to make sure that you talk about that product. I shared with you that back in 2003, just by me talking about the product, I was able to get 12 customers before I had even opened my account, right? Today, we want to be able to use that on social media. So there's so many great resources that we have for sharing about our business or about our products on social media. But we do want to make sure that we are sharing responsibly. We're not making product claims about disease states, but instead we're talking about products that we love in a way that is company approved, sticking to the approved product benefit claims instead of talking about treating or curing disease. And there's a lot of great trainings that we have also on our YouTube channel about what we can and cannot say about supplements or products. But we also want to make sure that we are aware that there's plenty of disclaimers that we should be using as well when we're posting. So there's an FDA disclaimer that you're used to seeing on all of our product training information. Things like, these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. There's a weight loss disclaimer if you're talking about TLS or weight loss that says individuals following the TLS weight loss solution as part of a healthy diet and exercise program can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. You could say consult your health provider before starting any weight management program. And then if you're talking about a business testimonial or a testimonial from an unfranchised owner, you can add the FTC disclaimer as well. So we have all of these resources available to us to make sure that we are sharing responsibly as well. So we're going to be sharing a lot more tips with you throughout the webinar tonight on how to grow your retail business. But keep in mind, it all starts with you being a product of the product. So we talk about going on auto ship and transferring our buying habits to make sure that we have what we need in our house, not only to use them for ourselves, but I'm going to encourage you, and I think Dr. Mason will talk about this a little bit later. I'm going to encourage you to add some of the trial size marketing packets into your auto ship order as well, so that you have with you the nice little mailers, the nice little handouts with samples of products in them. I mean, I can't tell you guys how thankful I am that my friend Steve, I didn't even finish telling you this part. When Steve gave me product, this was before we had trial size marketing packets. So back then, the trial size of OPC3 was a 30 serving bottle of product. So when I got started, he actually gifted me a 30 serving bottle of product. And by the third day, I knew that I was not going to go out of that product again, that I was going to stay on that product. Today, you don't need to gift somebody a 30 serving bottle. You could give them the little packet with the samples in it, already made, ready to go, with beautiful information about the product on them. So make sure that you have trial size marketing packets available. Put them on your monthly auto ship so that you never run out of them. And then create a list of your potential customers. As you use products and you experience them, think about who else could benefit from the same experience you just had. Make sure that you learn about your product and then share the information. So we're going to talk about, it really comes down to building relationships. It's not about you trying to be an expert of everything and having to have every fact memorized. It's about listening to people and identifying what their needs are, and then providing a solution for them and sharing your own personal experience. As you start to grow your customer base, collect and use testimonials, and then have a follow-up system, which I'm going to talk about again for a second, in a second. And you can use that to build share of customer, which means if somebody starts with one product and they get a good result with it, then maybe the next month you introduce them to a second complementary product and you get them buying more than one product from you on an ongoing basis. And that helps to create lifetime customer value. But going back to my friend Steve giving me that 30 serving bottle, right? That led to me opening my account in 2003 and then sponsoring dozens of people right after that and growing an entire organization. And it was all because of my experience with a product, right? Now, as we go through tonight, we're going to be referencing some of our tools. One of them that I just had to talk about is we have in our unfranchised marketing app, something new that was just launched at World Conference, and that is the Pulse system. And I just want to share with you, for example, how easy and streamlined this can make things. Because when you turn on the unfranchised marketing app and you activate Pulse's notifications, you start to get, this is right from my phone, you start to get notifications of when customers have an auto ship coming up, or when somebody has gone inactive, or if somebody has just placed their first order, or if somebody just placed a reorder. And that gives you a notice that maybe you want to follow up with them. And then all you have to do is log into Pulse, look at who has an upcoming auto ship order, who has a first order, who's an active who's an active customer, or who has maybe gone inactive. And it gives you these little task lists. And when you click on the little task list, you can follow up with somebody, and it gives you pre-populated messaging that you can reach out to them. So you never have to try to remember, when do I need to follow up with that customer again? Now everything is imported right into your phone through the marketing app, and all the contact information for your customers are there, and you can send them messaging. You can schedule messaging to follow up with them again in another 2 weeks or another week. And then you can mark the task as completed, and it will show up as something that you've already done. So it's a great way to track your follow-up, and follow-up has led, by me using Pulse, I've gotten so many more orders. And in fact, the one that you see on the screen here, Shannon, she had just placed an order. I got a notification from Pulse that she had just placed an order. I reached out to her and said, thank you for your order. Here's a coupon code for your next order. And she bought a whole product package for her sister, right? Because the coupon code that I activated in my unfranchised back office sent to her through Pulse. I got a new customer through a referral. And that's when your customers are giving you new customers, you know that you have hit a home run. So I think it's really important for you guys to understand the importance of how retailing can lead to people and help you grow your business. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Deedra Mason, and she's going to come on. So let me stop sharing my screen. There you are, Dr. D. I see your screen's coming up. Go ahead and you can take it away.
Well, I just think it's really exciting what we just learned about, because as a busy professional, having something that gives me notifications reminds me that I need to follow up with someone, but then kind of pre-populates a text, an email, even a social media post potentially, to make it so easy for me to do that. The magic of the unfranchised marketing app and the Pulse system that's a part of this tool is a huge win for busy unfranchised owners, busy professionals. I mean, and it really does speak, Brandi, to what you had said is, I don't think I have time for this business, right? And so by putting a little bit of upfront cost in, and I mean effort, right? The cost to us is a little bit more time investment in the beginning. We can learn how to streamline our businesses and really amplify our customer base very simply. I've got similar stories, just like Brandi mentioned, simply by sharing a little bit with an individual through one of our apps, I was able to create a new customer, someone that was looking for more ordering, that was looking for larger sizes. In fact, asked, what else do you have? And I was able to move into a large bottle of OPC3 and prime joint simply by sharing some information. And it was so streamlined for me. But what do we do when we're not trying to find someone through social media? How do we interact with people in day-to-day type situations? There's so many opportunities here. The one that I think everybody loves is the what's that, because it gives you an opportunity. Maybe it's just me, maybe I'm the talker in the family, right? And I'm going to share with you why the Unfranchised Marketing app has made that so special for me. But I love the what's that because it gives me an opportunity to show passion about something that I'm using to an individual. I cannot tell you enough how impactful it is to have passion, excitement, exuberance about a product that you're using. Now, I'm a little embarrassed to tell you this, but my what's that started with red lipstick. I would be at Costco, I would be at the store, I would be somewhere in public, and I would put my red lipstick down or my red lip liner down. And invariably, somebody somewhere, you do that enough times and someone says, what's that, right? Or I love that color, or that looks great against your skin, or something along those lines. Well, that's what's so exciting about this is that I'm able to say, you know, I have her card in here somewhere. That's awesome. I have her card in here somewhere. She has an online business. She has an online makeup store. And it was always me that I was referring to, but it was a way for me to get the what's that. It was a way for me to get what else is going on for me. But mostly what I want to share with you is it created an excitement. It gave me an opportunity to ask people what excites them. What did you like about it? It gives me an opportunity to do exactly what Brandi was talking about. We're going to listen, we're going to share, and we're going to recommend, right? We know that people are looking for health products. They're often looking to be like people that they like. And that's something I really want you guys to gravitate to, right? People like to be like people that they like, that are liked, or that they want to be like. So you're going to start by being a product of the product. You're going to start carrying yourself in that way or sharing products in that way where you're super passionate about what you're using, because more than likely someone will say to you, what's that? Can I have some? Are there other things like that? Or do you have? If you're willing to listen, share a little bit of information. And the Unfranchised Marketing app makes this absolutely brilliant, easy, seamless, right? And then make that recommendation. But I really want you guys to pay attention to step 1 and step 3. You need to listen, and then you need to recommend. To do that, you have to be a product of the product, but you also have to be good at sharing information that they're going to use. Knowing your audience is really important. Brandi's solution there was OPC3, and that's fantastic. But if somebody says to you that they're really looking for something to enhance them with sports, OPC3 has some great sports benefits, some muscular health benefits, but maybe prime joint or even peak performance is better for them. And this tells you that you need to not just be a product of the product, but you need to invest in yourself, invest in your business, and learn a little bit about the diversity of products that we share. That's the way we make it seamless, with that one-on-one casual conversation, right? Sharing things through social media, understanding our audience. We don't want to be knowledgeable about only one product. We want to invest in ourselves, and start to become conversational about a lot of products. My key there is that you don't need to start with everything at once. You're going to start with products that you currently use. You're going to start with products that you feel comfortable talking about. You're going to start talking about products that are part of your identity. At one time, makeup and was a part of my identity, and that made sense, right? The truth of the matter is, I built a good part of our business without calling myself Dr. D. I just simply recreated or created a new identity. It was Dr. Diva, and she did motives, she did makeup, right? And that was how some of these things start. That was some of the things that I did to learn something new. Now, I shared with you exuberance is really important. I have to tell you, I don't have any trouble with trial size marketing for two reasons. One, I got a gift of the gab. Two, I'm an effervescent personality, right? But three, maybe there are three reasons. The real reason I wanted to tell you is that I'm excited about this product. I know what this product does. And so when I talk about Prime Sleep, people say, wow, that sounds like something I want. When I talk about with age, that we need better, deeper sleep, and it's harder to achieve. So things like the ingredients in this product, valerian, hops, the melatonin, the L-theanine, help us achieve that deep, slow wave sleep. And that's so important for me as I'm aging, whether it's beauty sleep, blood sugar support, or just feeling more productive the next day. It's that kind of exuberance that gets people to say, okay, I'm excited about that too. What else do you have? Or do you have something for? But if I wasn't exuberant about something, right, I probably would have a hard time sharing things because I would feel like I was scripted. I would feel like I had to come up with something. In this case, it's just purely conversational. One, because I use it. Two, because I've seen results. Three, I can share another person's results, if not my own. But I'm excited to answer somebody's question. I'm going to give you a quick tip that is so powerful about the trial size marketing, is they also allow you to know what to say and keep it concise. I giggle that I have the gift of the gab, right? So trial size works brilliant for me because all the information is there for my customer. To do this though, you've got to make sure that you're downloading the app. You've got to be primed and ready for your business. So your first step is you're going to download the Unfranchised Marketing app if you have not already done that. Once you've installed the app, all you need is your your usual Unfranchised logon credentials to get started. And you can start to play with this, and then you can start to share it. Then you become conversational about things like business tools as well. Ultimately, by creating support for you with things like the Isotonic Daily Essentials, the Prime Sleep, the Isotonics, and then growing this family of trial size marketing, we're not just helping you listen and share and recommend. We're making it possible for you to build that kind of identity that says, this is what I do. Be that consummate professional that says, this is what the products do. It's right here in these marketing flyers. And it allows you, if you're uncomfortable with the conversation, to know what to say or to let these amazing tools talk for you. So we're going to go through a couple steps for what I want to see us doing with the trial size marketing. First, I want you to become really familiar with your app as well as the websites that you guys have that are available through the app, right? So you're going to visit your personalized sample website. You're going to learn about all of the ways that you can build through that and share through that. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to share a sample through the app or from the site. My recommendation is that you invest the $5.95 in your customer, your new customer, or to gain share of customer. And you simply share that out with them, no charge to them, whether you're using the app or the website. That's how I would love to see you use trial size. Then follow up. The whole thing is making sure that you're following up. So you're going to share things like PDFs. You're not just going to share the text It's great, like Brandi talked about the coupon codes. You want to make sure that you're doing things like that on a value-sized product. We're going to move from trial size to value size, right? But the whole key here is to make sure that you're paying attention to those notifications and sharing digital content that makes sense to them through social media, through the app. And as Brandi pointed out, you've got resources, some of these same tools on your back office. So you may even be able to share some of this information in person if you feel like you want to print it off. But the idea here is to make sure that we take it and make it easy. So that's why we have a tracking system. That's why we have the automatic drip emails, the SMS, and the notifications for both your customer and you. Considering that over 80% of customers are more likely to purchase a product, a value size product, once they've had the opportunity to try it, this is a no-brainer. I was talking to some friends, and Lee and Lisa, Lee Rader, you know her, she said her favorite thing is that people aren't always sure they want to invest in a product. So when we can give them a sample and they say, yep, I can see myself doing this. I like the taste. I feel something. I feel like I could invest in it. My friend Shannon Goodberry gives them the $5.95 off their full bottle price if they go to the app or the website and get it themselves. She covers their shipping, right? These are some really fun tips that you can do that make it possible for you to be successful. The next thing I want to talk about is really recognizing the power behind the trial size. There's product information there, talks about both science and benefits. There's often customer testimonials that creates a level of social proof that you'll only create. One, if you're engaging in social media. Two, you're engaging more often with your customers and getting them to share their experiences with you and then be willing to share it with other people. The magic is right here in these trial size marketing packs, because if you have less testimonials, you're looking to create new customers, right? You want to develop a wider audience for social proof. Allow these testimonials to do that proof for you. And as Lee had mentioned, it's so powerful because it comes with a sample, not just information. It allows them to try before they buy. Now, we're so excited because, of course, this isn't just something that's available in the Market America brand, but also in the Nutrimetrics brand for you. You need to know what your customer receives. They get that all in one. If you send it through the app, they get that all in one sample mailer. They get professionally written, designed content. You've seen that yourself. But what you also want to know is if you've never sent out a mailer through the app, they get a personalized letter from you that tells them what website to go to get more information or shop for a value size. So these professional flyers allow you to be, that product expert, that social media expert, that person that's creating a lot of buzz about their product, because these trial sites really take our products, our solutions to the next level. And when we think about business, if you follow those 1, 2, 3 steps, what you're really doing is showing your customer how easy it is to create a customer base, how easy it is to talk about products that maybe for a little while felt out of their wheelhouse, gave them the tools to know it's as simple as learning what's written on these trial size packets, sharing it with family and friends, and getting the referrals. Brandi told you a couple of stories about how that's how easy it was for her. So what are you going to do? This is your basic 5 of the sampling system. You're going to promote free samples. If you've got customers you've already shared with, you're going to ask them to talk about how excited they are for their product, any benefits they have. You're going to ask them to use hashtags that work for your social media page. What we're going to do is create social proof for you, right? That's that second step. Use the social media, maximize your own efforts on social media, If you are part of an organization, you want them going to your social media page and commenting. That brings everything to the top, like all boats rise, you know? And that's what we want to do as unfranchised business owners, as partners. We want to support the brand. We want to support each other. That creates a community that, quite frankly, people want to be a part of. They want to get in on that party that you're talking about, right? They want to get in on that idea of, what does she have? What does he have? You should tap into that fear of missing out. You should invite people to be a part of the fun that you're having. You want to make sure that you're either starting with a call, a text, getting engagement somehow, if not through social media. But you want to call, text, and engage after you send the sample as well, right? That's that fourth step. You're going to send that sample from the Unfranchised Marketing app, or you can send samples to customers that you already have in a drop ship order. And then make sure that you're following up, tracking those interactions, and following up with the drip campaign. A lot of people ask, what is this website? I play with the app, but I don't play with the website. Right there on your Unfranchised Marketing app. One of the ways to share a sample is by sharing the website with one of your customers. By doing this, they get to view a whole lot of product information that maybe is not in the PDF. They get to identify or find product videos, often products that you weren't even recommending, products that they're interested in getting more information about. This is how they can find some of your mini websites, depending on how you brand yourself. I love that they can find social proof here. They can read product reviews. And if they want another sample, they can have something sent to them, whether it's the Daily Essentials, it's the Prime Sleep, our new Bliss, NeuroFocus. V6 is just killing it. People are loving sharing V6 because people feel it, right? So many people want to lose weight, but they want to know that this time it's going to be different. That's no truer sample will help you do that than the Lumiere de Vie. Needle-free. This is a product where people say, wow, do I want to spend the money on a cosmeceutical? And this gives them the opportunity to try it before they buy it, get several applications out of that, and really see the difference. Do me, do your organization, do all of us a favor. You are first in line for that favor. Don't make these mistakes. Don't make the mistake of sending a sample to a customer you already have without communicating with them. They should know this is coming. They should know why you value them as a customer and that you want to share something new. Don't let them just get something in the mail and hope that they connect the dots. A big mistake is not tracking current orders or samples, not following up with that drip email campaign, the text, not paying attention. And now it's easier than ever with Pulse. Another mistake is sending several samples to the same person. Oh, they didn't buy digestive enzymes, maybe Lumiere de Vie, right? What you're not doing is creating a relationship when you send sample after sample after sample to someone. I've seen people send samples for digestive enzymes to a customer that's already buying digestive enzymes, right? So we're always thinking about upgrading our regimens. One of the best ways I can tell you to upgrade a regimen or get someone else to upgrade their regimen, you guys, is to show off your regimen, right? Start going online, doing Facebook videos, start showing people that what you mix with your TLS nutrition shake, the Myco Adapt, the new daily greens. What does your morning routine look like? Start sharing that with other people. It's brilliant to do this. Alexandra Cummings does this with her own videos, just sharing off the isotonics and how unique they are. And she has fun doing it. People do have fear of missing out. They want to know what that is. You talk about how easy it is to use, how good it tastes. Talk about things that feel like huge benefits to them. That's how you're going to start to build that relationship. A lot of people will say, how do you bring it up? I love to bring up the trial size or have the trial size with me so I can just simply talk about quick self-care. Like, what are you doing for yourself today? What have you done for yourself today? Can you try, I want to give this to you. Gifting is fine. Giving is fine. I'd love for you to try this. Make sure they know you're going to follow up. Don't be weird about it. I would love to find out, what you're thinking about it. But the first thing is let's just get some self-care into you. That could be Lumiere de Vie. That could be the daily essentials. It can be the Prime Sleep. I want you to try this. These are just easy steps you can take, important steps you should take for your health, right? You need a good night's sleep. No one's their best self without a good night's sleep. I want you to learn about the products and pick your favorite customer, right? Pick your favorite key ingredient, pick your favorite key benefit, whatever it is, start with that, right? When you hear someone like Dr. Tamara talk about a product, or Brandi or Melanie Nelson, any of us talk about a product, I want you to write down the customer, the family member, the neighbor, the person that you know at work that made you think of, because that's the next person that I want you to walk up to and say, I've been thinking about you. A little quick self-care. You've been working hard. You fill in the blank with a personal note and say, this is just an easy step you can take for your health. I think one of the more powerful parts of the trial size is what it does for helping create growth within your organization. When you do these simple steps, the people that are around you will take notice of how simple it was for you to share, the confidence in which you have, right? Your glowing skin, your energy, right? You're walking the walk. And for that reason, they want a little bit more of what you have. Remember, people like people that they like. They want to be like people like they like, or they want to be like people that other people like, or they want to be like people that are liked. I think I did that and then jumbled it up, but you understand what I'm saying, right? So we want to be that person. Brandi had mentioned making sure that you've got these on your auto ship, because that's how you're going to be able to do a little bit of self-care. That's how you're going to be able to talk to people about really easy steps you can take for your wellness. There's probably no better way that I have found to really educate someone on a product than Shop Live. This is an easy broadcasting tool that you can promote your daily regimen like I just brought up. The neat thing about this is that it's team driven. So whether you're on my team, you have a team code, you can watch a Shop Live. You can invite your team, and the aggregate nature of it, the attribution nature of it allows so many people to just simply click and purchase from the screen right there. So trial size is a great way to get somebody started. You want to invite them maybe to one of your Shop Lives. You can do this from an organizational standpoint. You can do this from a social media standpoint to create new customers, but maximizing Shop Live, maximizing the unfranchised marketing app, maximizing the Pulse component for follow-up is an easy step system to share product, let the product do the talking for you. And it ultimately does lead to enhanced business growth because people see how easy it is to do these things, right? So get familiar with your app, get familiar with how you can share content. Our products quite literally speak for themselves, right? So maximize anytime you get a customer testimonial, ask if you can share that with other people. Ask if they wouldn't mind commenting on a post. Do not be afraid to bring up, I would love the referrals. The best thank you you can give me is a referral for a customer. Don't be afraid of the fact that you're in business. You'd be remiss if you didn't bring up the benefits of a product, the benefits that you've achieved or you've helped other people achieve, and ultimately that brings up the business. What I love to see happen with trial size is trial size becomes value size. You create new customers, you create new value, and you create a growing you create a growing team that can incentivize other people to capture their own health. And that's the thing that I find so exciting about what we get to do every day. I'm going to go ahead and invite my friend, Dr. Tamara Weinstein, to share a little bit about how she does this in an in a unique way, one-on-one and in the home. Go ahead, Dr. Tamara.
Thank you so much. That's just amazing information and such great tips, right? I am so excited about our trial size marketing and the marketing app and the new Pulse feature. It's just absolutely amazing. And so everybody should do as you've been hearing and download that. So those are things that we could do virtually and in person as well. The next steps that I wanted to share with you is about doing some product presentations, right? So doing things, whether it's within the home, if that's an option for you, and these are things that you can do on a Zoom. You can create a meeting and have a Zoom room as well. So why are they important? You know, first and foremost, you heard Brandi talking about building base 10, 10 customers. You want to generate those retail sales and you want to develop that customer base. That retail sale, that customer base, it replenishes the operating costs. And although they are small, you still want to replenish that. And of course, start accumulating the business volume associated with our products. So your goal is to really have your business operating, being within the black within 30 days. And the other reason to do these types of presentations is that it really expands the product knowledge. So when we have a new business partner come on board, we like to do one of these home presentations or a virtual Zoom one so that they have an opportunity to learn, right? So we'll do the presentation initially with them and for them so that they have an opportunity to learn about the products and how we're going to move forward and do this. It's very similar to the ABC pattern. So we can introduce them to the new products, but we can also at the same time introduce to their friends, to their family, and to their associates. And then it really helps to increase the stability of the organization because then we start to develop some consistent volume flowing through the organization, right? So they're a great way to get started, whether you're very new in the business or thinking about becoming an unfranchised owner or you've been around for a while. I do highly encourage some of these presentations to, where'd my screen go? To go through. Oh, sorry, got stuck there for a moment. And then when you do decide to do one of these presentations, what you want to decide is what is the theme going to be? And that really depends on the individual, right? So for myself, health and nutrition was really where I started. Just like Brandi, I was introduced through products. And for me, I fell in love with them. I fell in love with the isotonic delivery system. And I just wanted to spread the wealth and spread the knowledge to other people. And my business started to kind of grow organically without realizing, because I wasn't really interested in the business behind these amazing products at the beginning. Luckily, it caught up and found me a little bit later on, where I decided it was very worthwhile to pay the business attention. So I started off with these Wellness 101 events, and they worked wonderfully. And we delved into TLS overviews as well. And then as my organization started to grow, I had people come into my organization, new business partners that were interested in Motives and skincare events that became Motives specialty, and that was their university, and got trained to do custom blend. And so we were able to expand and work together and use all of these themes and combine our efforts, which was really a fantastic way to grow the business. So when you decide that you're going to do one of these presentations, whether it's in the home or whether it's on Zoom virtually, you want to make sure that you are inviting people and following up with those invitations, right? So some of the things to think about is we often would start the invitation in the form of an email, maybe create a flyer, what the presentation is going to consist of. We always want to edify the speaker, who they will be, what their talent is, what their backgrounds are, and really explain why the guests might want to come and see this person do this presentation, right? It's really important to do that. And you could do your invitation as we did initially through emailing, but we would also follow up with calls or text messages and follow-up emails. It's really important to have an idea of who you're inviting and how you normally communicate with them. So if I had somebody who was normally communicating through texting, then I would be following up with a text message, right? Otherwise, I'd be picking up the phone and calling. And I find that really works best. So you want to confirm the attendance of both the other business partners that are being invited and joining in, as well as the guests that are being invited. We did these presentations with our own organization, and then we also sometimes expanded out to other franchise owners that we had just become friendly with through other meetings and trainings and things like that. And I think that adds some great value when we cross-pollinate and help each other. So when we're doing these presentations within the home, you want to be prepared, right? You want to have your technology in place. So you have your laptop set to go, maybe with your HDMI cable. Make sure the TV you're connecting to has the right connection for the HDMI. I've been in that situation. I learned to actually adjust in some various ways to make sure that I was properly prepared with backups, just in case I had some issues. You want to make sure you have everything you need before the evening begins. So whether it's a home shopping list packet that you purchase, whether you buy some catalogs to put out on display, we always want to provide product samples, right? So they might be samples that you can pour, like daily essentials, for instance. You can make them, mix them up, and pour them in little Dixie cups for taste testing. Have bottles and samples out so that people can pick them up, look at them, see the label, read the ingredients, because people like to touch and feel, right? And if you can have some products to sell, that's an added bonus, because often when you're talking about different products and you share your passion and you share your excitement, they get excited and they want to leave that night with it in their hand. So if you can have those products to sell, that would be fantastic. If they're not all there available, we would try very hard to sit down with everybody at the end of the evening, at the end of the presentation, answer those questions, and at least get those orders placed fairly quickly for them so that they don't lose that excitement about starting with their new products. So have some type of order form. You could use a notepad. You could do it on the computer. Personally, I went to a partner store of ours. I believe it was either Staples or Office Max, and I got a receipt pad. And I love the receipt pad because at the top, you could fill in the name, the address, the phone number, and the email, so that you have all the contact information to follow up with if need be. If you're doing it on Zoom, you want to make sure that you have a computer with good internet access, that you're not going to be all choppy and lose your reception. You want to link to the hostshop.com site. You know, Brandi and Dr. D both mentioned coupon codes. Those are fantastic to use. The coupon codes, especially on the night of the event, as an incentive. You know, if you purchase tonight, we're offering a 10% discount, or we're going to extend that to the end of the week so that it will count for your purchase from attending this presentation with us. It's great incentive, and people love coupon codes. You want to make sure if you're doing a presentation with slides that you're using the approved product slides. That's really important, so that you make sure that you have the proper features and benefits that you're sharing with within your presentation. Have some products to demonstrate. Even on a Zoom, I always tend to hold up products. I show them in the screen. And you want to use the meeting format. It's always helpful to have people mute themselves out, though, so there's not that extraneous noise, dogs barking and things like that in the background whenever possible. But it is really nice to see faces. I think so anyway. Whether you're doing a home event or whether you're doing it on a Zoom, you want to make it fun. It should be a party type of environment. And one of the things that we've always loved doing is having some sort of a giveaway door prize. And the products or the samples that we often give away could either be a bottle of aloe juice, it could be a box of digestive enzymes, or you can go into, now that we have these amazing trial size samples, you could purchase the 10 packs of the trial size samples, and you could use some of those as door prizes. And what we did to decide who got the door prize, I will show you in a moment, is we actually collected a piece of paper with their contact information on them. So make sure that you have some information to hand out. We would often have a sheet, or at least use through the computer, images of products, images of packages, things that we can add on You want to make sure when you do these presentations that you ask for the sale. That's really important. A lot of times people are thinking as the evening's going through, oh, I want to try that. I need more information, but I would like to buy that. And nobody ever asks, would you like to place that order? And so they end up going home without actually placing the order. So make sure you ask for the sale. Believe it or not, they appreciate you helping. And so I will always say, you know, are you ready to place that order? I'd be happy to sit down and do that and help you right now. Book your follow-ups. We all know fortune is in the follow-up, right? And again, we talked about those coupons or discounts that you can offer. The next few slides I just included here just to show you some samples. Again, it should be fun. It should be a great party environment. This was actually a new unfranchised owner business partner of mine that came on board that was interested in health and nutrition and TLS. And this was in her home. She invited some friends and some family over, and we set up a table. You could see my display. I have quite a lot of products there. I know they're like all from my own house too. So, you know, if you help each other, everybody could bring a little bit. But what was so nice about this event is I actually had some unfranchised owners that were not in my organization that lived locally that came to attend the event. And I was so grateful to have them there because we ended up with 25 people at this event. And I actually needed help answering some questions, right? So it was so nice to have them. It was really wonderful. And of course, we always work together and help each other. This event actually, before the end of the evening, we had generated $800 worth in sales, and the orders kept coming in through the end of the week. She did offer the coupon code, a 10% off code for anybody that attended the presentation. So she had some fantastic brand new customers from the very beginning when she opened up her new business to have that retail coming in and the BV starting right from the beginning to start her base 10. So that was a fantastic event and so much fun. Here's another one in another business partner's home. We had some things set up in the kitchen. We had some things set up in the dining room. So we did a little presentation first, and then we sort of mixed and mingled through and, you know, all walked around and looked at products and answered questions. It was a great event. I put this screen in here because I just want to show you, this is a trifold cardboard that we used. Actually, one of my business partners, Julianne, put this together, and it just was a fantastic tool that we used that we brought from presentation to presentation. So we didn't have to recreate the wheel every time. You know, we decided which handouts from the support materials, the flyers that were in the resources that Brandi had showed you earlier, that you can go ahead and print out and put up on this nice professional board. And you'll see that board right here was another event we did in actually a restaurant. And you can see not only health and nutrition, but we had a table set up with Modus Cosmetics, and we had skincare. And there were unfranchised owners that specialized in each different division so that we had the opportunity to get up in front of the room, take turns, share some information, and answer some questions after we were done. Again, so much fun. We had a great time. People had orders coming through. We sat with them. We helped them place the orders. We would bring our laptops. We would bring our iPads. And we always would have some sort of an order sheet as well. Here's another one that we did in a salon. And by the way, that's all my makeup. And I don't specialize in motives, but I use them all. I am a product of the product. So we set up, you'll see the blender in the back because we did give TLS shakes out for samples during this event. And we made some baskets of some of the products for door prize for giveaway as well. They did a raffle. This was another salon spa that I work with that was interested, already had some nutrition in there, but they were interested in expanding into custom blend, which is not my specialty. So I had the benefit of asking one of my business partners, Jennifer, to come in with her custom blend kit and share that information with the room. So I just want to show you how we can all really tag team and help each other with these presentations, whether they're in the home or whether they are on Zoom virtually. This was actually one that I did in a health professional office using the Nutrimetrics label. You know, we always gave out samples in those little Dixie cups of the daily essentials. You want to make sure you get their contact information as well. When we're done with the event, as I said, it's important to close the sale, right? They want you to. They are actually seeking out that help and guidance. So make sure you answer any questions. And guys, if you don't know the answer, it's okay to say, listen, that's a great question. I don't want to give you the wrong information. Let me find out and get back to you. And that's another touch point to come back and have further contact with them. And so that's totally fine to do, but make sure that you at least address that they might have a question. You want to create those preferred customer profiles if they haven't already been registered. And again, we would collect those papers so that we'd have that information to do so. And if you can place the order that night, by all means, go ahead and place it for them. They're going to be happy. This is just a little image of where those coupon codes live. So if you go under My Customer, under Coupon Administration and Marketing, you can set up the coupon code. There is a little box there for a one-time use, or you could set it up for a longer period of time, and you could have the 10% or the 15% off discount, whichever you choose. And then the next step, as you've heard earlier from Dr. D and from Brandi, is to build that share of customers. You want to identify by listening, by finding out what people want, what people need. You know, you could give them some additional samples for some new products through our trial size marketing as well. And you want to possibly set up an auto ship for those people if they are ordering on a consistent, regular basis. So there's lots of avenues that we can do to help build share of customer. And we can even go through into our shop site and build through installing Shop Buddy and our partner stores. And if that's the case, then I recommend giving a shop.com tour for your customer. So really, you want to become a master retailer. You want to commit, as you heard before, to being a product of the product. You know, Brandi started with OPC. You know, find out what product works for you, have the knowledge on that product, know the story of that product. You don't need to know the science, but have a comfort level with some of the features and benefits. You want to know where those tools are, know where those support materials are in the resources so that you can get the handouts. You can pull out those flyers to use, and you can download them and you can share them. You want to understand that we have the best products with this company across the board for all of our divisions of this company. And you want to implement that follow-up system. Now we have our app and we have Pulse, and it is an amazing way to help with that follow-up. But we all know fortune is in the follow-up. So it won't work unless you use it. So make sure you use it. So these events are great ways to go ahead and start building that base 10 that Brandi went through earlier, right? Getting your 10 preferred customers ordering on a regular basis. And often when we get those customers, guess what happens? They end up loving the products and they decide that they want to open their own account. So we can grow and expand distribution through retailing, right? And so you lead to your 2 people and you help those 2 people lead to their 2 people. And that's where we get to the 7. And we could actually do that through retailing to recruit, and we could do that recruiting to retail. It goes in both directions. As you saw in the chat, when we first started that list, when Brandi asked, how did you get started? Were you a product of the product first, or were you a business owner first? It looked pretty equal there as I went through and was scrolling down through that chat. So try doing some of these presentations, whether it's in person in the home or virtual on Zoom. I want to invite Dr. D and Brandi to come back and join me. We just want to wrap up with some action items here that you can walk away with and check off some of these boxes.
Thank you, Dr. Tamara. That was amazing. So many great tips. And I love seeing the pictures, excuse me, of the in-home events and in the restaurant events. I think that's awesome.
It was so much fun. We had a great time.
Yeah. And for those of you that maybe live in an area where you still can't quite get together the way you used to, you can do the same thing via Zoom and online presentations, and try using Shop Live. If you have not done Shop Live yet, you know, schedule, you don't even need to schedule one. You could just go into your unfranchised marketing website and go live just with yourself, right? You don't need to have an audience on there to learn how to do it. You could just go live, see what the experience is like, and then you'll feel more comfortable inviting people. But guys, retailing is the lifeblood of our business. And it's, to me, one of the most fun parts, because if I lead with product, even if they're not interested in opening an account yet, right? Timing might not be right for them. Getting them on product keeps that relationship going and keeps them connected to my business. And you never know when the timing is going to be right for them to open an account. Like I said, I was not interested in opening a business. It ended up being one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. And it was all because of starting with a product and getting a great result. But thank you guys so much for spending the time with us tonight. We so appreciate you. I don't know if Dr. Mason has any final comments that she wants to share, but great.
No,
job.
I mean,
Great
I
job, Dr. Tamara.
just love all of the tips that we learned, because what I want you guys to take away from this, besides transferring your buying habits and getting familiar with the app, is to simply recognize all of this was conversational. 100% of what we did was being a part of someone's life, listening to them, and honestly setting out to make a difference. So just do you. That's it. Just do you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
and
guys.
Care.